Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. Welcome to this evening edition of our program, The Hour of Politics. As always, with me, Anthony Sier. Atlanta is our headquarters, and there we are broadcasting from. Franklin K. Wise is seated. He told me he's prepared. He's tired sitting on the fence. For the issues are serious and the country is in trouble, and he has a voice to add to the many voices that are out there for a better Liberia. Well, we are expecting Mr. Aliyu Kamara, who happen to be a declared supporter of JNB. Mr. Franklin Wise is a supporter of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. He has made that public. So we wanted the two gentlemen to have a civil dialogue why they have taken their individual sides. We hope Ali will join in, but why we hope Franklin is yes to make the case why Cummings is a guy Liberia can go with to get what we call a real change. Well, folks, let me not bore you too much with introduction. Franklin, welcome. It's good to have you, brother.
Thank you, Anthony. It's always a huge pleasure, mounting your platform. And let me say warm greetings to Liberians, far and near. It is my, pleasure to grace this occasion.
Thank you so very much. Franklin has been a long-time advocate for the War and Economic Crimes Court for our country. He hates impunity and he loves accountability. He's a man who believes in justice, that justice can be used as the foundation to build a better country. Franklin has cried for justice. Even his close friends are not listening to him, but that's for another day. We are here for politics. The subject Liberians love. I don't know why they love this subject. It divides us, but they love it anyway. And I love it too. I'm not going to pretend, but I'm in the middle. I'm asking the questions. Franklin, we call you to discuss the topic JNB and ABC.
Yeah.
That is Joseph Yumambwaka, the former vice president, and Alexander Benedict Cummings. Of the two, who can Liberia? Oh, there's an error there. We will make that correction quickly. Folks, bear with us. Oh, what an error. The topic there is these two, who can give Liberia the real change that Liberia needs. All right. So, Franklin, let's get to it. What do you want to share with our audience about you, for those of them who don't know you, so we can go into the discussion right away? Let's hear you, Franklin.
Okay, thank you. I had thought, we will have Aliyu Krumah so that we have a kind of a balanced discussion. But I don't want to be too fast to say that his absence is intentional. He might be having, maybe some other engagements. So I will first of all want to lay the basis of my decision, and at the end of it, I will tell you who of the two I think will be a better alternative to what we have, in Liberia now as an administration. Anthony, let me be quick to tell people that when it comes to determining the president of our country, it is everybody's prerogative.
Okay.
And as an advocate, my choice of candidate to steer the affairs of the country should not in any way undermine, because the president of our country must be a person that everybody must have the right to elect. So it's not restricted to a county. It's not like, restricted to a district. It's everybody's business. I said this because, a few of my friends who are kind of uneasy about the decision I made to support Arizona Cummings, even bringing me an ANC member, and some of them also, you're no longer an advocate and whatever. I just want to set the record straight. It does not take away anything from me. I am Franklin Wisse, and I still stand in that gap, for social justice, economic freedom, and the end to the culture of impunity. I am an advocate by birth. I mean, it is something I'm passionate about. And for some time, I was really on the fence. I was on the fence because I've been really unhappy, with the way, the country is being governed. We have a president who was overwhelmingly elected by the people, a president who won 14 of the 15 counties. Many had hoped that his stewardship will actually bring relief to the Liberian people. If you were to ask me whether the Liberian people are really satisfied or pleased with the way they are being governed, my answer is no. Evident in the two past, by-elections in our country, which saw the Liberian people going against the choice of the president. That was a resounding message of disapproval. You don't need any rocket science to tell you why the people voted the way they voted. It was the way they could vent their plea against the way they are being governed. Mind you now, no government fares well without the well wishes of the governed. The governors of the state are employees of the governed. And for a government to sail well, the governed must bless that government. So it was seemingly strange to see that the CDC that was, let's use President George Weah as a case study.
Quickly, Franklin, I want us to get to the subject quickly.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm the one, your guest now. If we had other men, I would be a kind of a little magnanimous with, let's say.
I know, but we'll still discuss the subject. So please conclude right there so we can go to the subject.
Are you going to ask me why my decision? Then I can just tell you what the answer.
Franklin, complete your thought there, then we'll get to the subject, please.
Okay, great. So, because I'm only saying that my decision is predicated on this premise, as a result of bad governance and, like repeatedly having the same kind of a style of going to the polls and expecting different results is just sheer, insanity. So I just thought it's about time that we do things differently. We will not be basing our judgment, or should not be basing our judgment on, who has got popularity or who has got numbers, but we must elect leaders who have track records of success and achievements. I would say Alexander Benedict Cummings stands tall amongst all of those vying for the Liberian presidency, because his records, his success story is traceable. I mean, his achievements in the corporate world, when we say in the corporate world, is very conspicuous. This is a man who has demonstrated good leadership everywhere he set forth as a young Liberian who just left Liberia after graduating high school. So
Franklin, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Thank you. Let me hold you there. We'll get to that. Folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. This is the Hour of Politics. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. My name is Anthony Munansie. I am the host of this program, this tough talking program. Let's get started here, Franklin. Again, we are hoping that Mr. Aliu Kamara, a declared supporter of JNB, will come so that we can actually have a dialogue that will be balanced to get, two sides of this conversation. But we can't keep waiting. Franklin, let's get to it. You are supporting Cummings. You made a conscious decision. No one put you. And so you are in the seat. But here, Focus on Liberia, anything we do, we try to do it educational. So let's start from the ABC. You posted about ABC. So let's see here. This is my first question. what is your definition of leadership and why Liberia needs it most than ever before? I ask you this question because the reason supporting communists want to be leader of our country. So what is your definition of leadership that you see in Cummings for which you say you are on board?
Thank you. So, I would define leadership as a form of management, that yields dividends, fruitful dividends. A form of management that is result-oriented. A leadership is a form of management that must be principle-based. A leadership is a form of management that must seek peak performance. So the one who occupies that role of leadership, that is the head, must be exemplary. His performance must be something that is conspicuous, that speaks to, results and huge dividends. So I see leadership as a form of management that is results oriented, that is principle based, and that is really aimed at yielding fruitful dividends.
Thank you, Franklin. And all of these things that you just listed, you are convinced they are in Cummings, they are evidence in him?
Without any doubt.
Without any doubt. All right. Let me progress here. Mr. Aliu Kamara just messaged me that he will be able to join on the phone. And Aliu, I'm telling you, the conference number is all set. Please call right now. And you know that number. If you don't know it, look in the scrolling text below. That number is there that start with 605-313-6004 and enter the call. Aliu, come on. You will be allowed to start talking right away so that we can have a balanced conversation here. But while we wait for you, Aliu, so Franklin, there are two persons on the opposition side. You really make it clear, Joe, I can't be your guy because of what you explained. So of the two options on the other side, you chose Cummings over Bouaka. My question is, why not Bouaka? Why are you not supporting Bouaka? Why are your fears of Bouaka being the next president of the Republic of Liberia?
First of all, let me be quick to admit that I hold nothing against the elderly statesman, except that I see that Alexander Benedict Cummings is by far a better alternative compared to him, and I shouldn't have any reason to struggle to defend this accession, because even he himself, JNB, admitted that he was part of a system that squandered its opportunities. That alone a shot in the leg. It just makes my argument easy. I cannot, prefer a man who admitted that he had the opportunity to better up the lives of the Liberian people. They had the opportunity to grow our economy. They had the opportunity to provide better health care. They had the opportunity to, enhance our education sector, and all of that, admitting that they squandered those opportunities and went as far as saying that he was a parked car, when as a matter of fact, he should not have been a parked car.
Do you not appreciate the honesty the vice president exhibited? Do you not appreciate the honesty?
I'm using the honesty as a yardstick to make an informed decision. This is someone is like saying
what is also true, Franklin, if I may here quickly. You know how vice presidents are, especially in Liberia or Africa. They are not in charge. Even if you read the Constitution tells you assist the president. So chances are that if the president, does not give, then any responsibility, they will just be right there. And go ahead.
No, Anthony, let us really, understand what our Constitution is saying. We mustn't really give it a different meaning. The Vice President of the Republic of Liberia has defined roles by our Constitution. Do you agree with me that the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia is the president of the Liberian Senate?
I do
That
not.
place where all of our concessions are passed, he is the president of that area, meaning he's got oversight responsibility of the Senate. The Constitution
You
also
sure
tells
the
us.
vice president has oversight responsibility of the
Oh
Senate?
yes, oh yes.
Then what is the role of the pro tem?
Oh, but the pro tem, look, the pro tem presides over you know, their sessions, you know, when they're having their bickering or whatever. But you should know that even the pro tem, by virtue of the vice president's, you know, position, works in consonance with the vice president, if not, you know, taking instruction from the vice president. So that is to tell you how pivotal the role of the vice president is. The role of the vice president is so defined in our constitution that he should assist. Mayuna, the president and the vice president are elected on one ticket.
I agree.
What that tells you is that the president has got no authority whatsoever to dismiss the vice president. So if even the vice president feels that they are not,
I mean, if the president did, will you blame the vice president?
If the president did what?
If the president, you know, decided not to, or decides not to give the vice president some responsibility to execute, will you blame the vice president?
The vice president, by virtue of his position, this is what I'm saying, the fact that they were both elected on the same ticket, has got the right to voice out his dissatisfaction. He's got the right to say that the president and I are supposed to be working in consonance, but this president doesn't listen to me, and this president brushes me aside. If the vice president decides to be tight-lipped, or in the name of his role being nominal, then it clearly states and it validates the assertion that a silence means consent. He is in consonance. And ever since I was in that country, I did not hear on one account the vice president disagreeing with any form of policy in the country, especially ones endorsed by the president. All of the form of corruption, human rights violation, and all of of financial malfeasances that occurred under their watch, not a time, and I stand to be corrected, that the vice president ever dissociated himself from any of the decisions of the president. So I'm taking it back now that this president, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, is no more, and the vice president, knowing that Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was leaving and could not come back by virtue of our constitution, will want to associate himself with the gains of the Sirleaf-led government and extricate himself from its pitfalls. I say no. I say no. Just as we will blame or shift blame on Madam Sirleaf for the pitfalls, the misgivings of their administration, the vice president will equally have his share of responsibility. So if he, knowing that he served as vice president for 12 consecutive years, and one day we did not hear him saying, oh, my people, you know, this is how the country is being run. And I'm afraid if I talk, this president is going to, you know, start me horrible. But let me be on record that I hereby denounce this particular policy of the government by the president. So if the vice president never expressed that, whether in secret or in public, but we want us to believe now that he was a parked car, even though he admits that he squandered the opportunities. If I were to make a judgment, it sounds
frankly, I think you're not quoting the vice president accurately.
Any comments to him any day, anytime.
Frankly, you're not quoting the vice president accurately. The vice president said he was a race car that was parked, and this race car needed to be on the track, meaning that he had the agility, you know, to be able to perform at a sporadic speed that the nation needed. But the president then, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, had made a conscious decision not to use him, who happened to be, you know, her best weapon at the time. And so you can't hold him responsible because, if you look at the Constitution, she had the overwhelming executive power, except if she maybe decided to share that with him, but that was not the case. So you can't blame him. Don't you see it that way?
You know, I will blame the vice president, the former vice president. And let me just say this: I try to be a little economical with, you know, my critique of the former vice president, because trust me, you know, I still see him as a revered statesman. I respect him. I am particular about, you know, selling my choice of candidate, that is Alexander B. Cummings. But when those hard questions come, I'm compelled to respond to them. I am saying the vice president admitted they squandered. Look, he's calling himself a racing car parked, was just a very poor characterization of who he should have been. This man was, as I said, the president of the Liberian Senate. You and I know too well than to be told that 66 of 68 bogus concessions that were signed, 66 of 68 were bogus. You had him as the president of the Liberian Senate. Can he answer to these concerns? What would be his excuse? That are, oh no, the people they voted over as a vice president, and this is it. It is what the government at the time wanted to happen that happened. Because if the government did not want to sign those bogus concessions, the government, through its vice president, who is the president of the Senate, would have influenced our legislators, who you and I know too well, you know, to vote in the favor of the Liberian people and not sign bogus concessions. So to now it's a consent.
Yeah, Franklin, let's do this. First of all, let's establish that the vice president does not have a voting right until there is a tie vote or whenever there's a tie, right? That is the only time he gets the opportunity to cast a vote in favor of whatever bill that is on the floor.
Sure.
So to blame him, and my understanding from what we've been told throughout their time, there was never an opportunity for a tie vote and for him to come and vote. So he had no say in any of those decisions that were made under concessions agreements. Okay. He's not a senator. He was never a senator. So how can you hold him responsible?
Thank you. So it only speaks volume of how inefficient he was. As I said, the government's interest, I mean, is usually projected by its administrators. You have concessions that were being signed before. Look, those concessions did not come overnight. Those concessions were, you know, were being discussed. The vice president was quite aware that the government was about to go into, you know, concession agreement with people or with partners. Now the question now is, what was the government's interest? Are you telling me the government sought interest in the bogus concessions? Because it is the government's interest that this vice president must protect. As the president, president of the Senate. Look, Anthony, save me this flimsy excuse of he didn't have voting right. The vice president is influential. The vice president is the presence of the executive at the legislature. Okay, so the vice president, like, they will always have things done in that country. Anything the president wants done, anything the government wants done, you and I know too well than to be told how they are done. Well, let us not pretend about this.
All right, Franklin, if your concern or your reservation is that, well, as vice president, he was not on the A game, you know, maybe I may not be putting it right, but let me put it that way for the sake of the discussion. He was not on his A game, right? Let's look at other vice presidents who were like in similar situation that the former vice president was in. My understanding is that William Arrow Talbot, who happened to be one of our former presidents, was vice president to Old Man Talbot. And at the time he was vice president, he was like Park. But when he became president, Liberians arguably can say or agree that he performed as a president. John Magufuli of Tanzania, I heard that he too was a vice president. And not much was heard about him. He didn't have the opportunity to display his leadership ability, but when he became president, he turned water into wine, to be a little bit exaggerative here. So how will you look at that and say the vice president will not deliver because as a vice president, he was Park?
First of all, for I hate to do this age argument. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I feel that age is a providence, from God, and we we need to respect people who are blessed to advance in age. But I can tell you that there is some word called retardation, and retardation, goes with age. As you advance in age, you understand, you become decryptive, and the decryptitude that
Are
act
you
of
saying the vice president is declining in his mental ability, in his connective ability? Is that the kind of argument you want to make here?
Oh, yes, his physical ability is declining, but the vice president admitted that he so look, I don't like to go this route. You bringing it in, and I have wanted for Aliu to be here.
It's my job to bring it in.
Yeah,
That is
I
my
know.
job.
I don't want to dwell too much on the vice president.
Okay.
As I said, I have come to let you know why Alexander Cummings. But I cannot be putting up a defense for a vice president who admitted that he's living on a pay setter. Okay. And you know what a pay setter is? A pay setter is something that is inserted in a living being with very serious heart condition. I mean, you not know that, right? So the reason I'm saying let us not delve into that, because I don't want to base my argument on his poor health. I want to base my argument on his legacy. What did he do as vice president for 12 years? Tell me. Somebody, a friend and I were having a conversation. He said, look, we said the vice president has been around in public service for about 42 years. I said, great. Probably I was never in Liberia to really know about, what he did. Could you please tell me what is his legacy for the 2 years in public service? Because let me tell you this, Anthony, and I agree with Alexander Cummings, when he said, look, the determinant of future performance and behavior is past performance and behavior. It is so true. If I should be able to vote for Anthony C for a piece of work, it must be on the basis of what I saw Anthony C do in a particular capacity. That is going to inform my decision. It's not going to be based on sentiments. I see a lot of people just rallying around this old man, or because they feel that, I kind of infusing sentiment in our body politics and whatever. But I will not want to go too much into that, because I have a soft spot for him, as I said. But if you were to bring him against, Alexander Benedict Cummings, it 10 times, 9, if not 10 out of 10 times, I would prefer Alexander Cummings.
Franklin, I got Aliu finally on the phone. That's what I've been trying to work on. I don't want him to escape. I know these kind of tactics, Well, Mr. Aliu Kamara, welcome to the Hour of Politics. I'm happy to have you. Thanks for making that effort, because we want the discussion to be balanced and fair to each side. Welcome. How you doing? How ready are you for this?
I am doing good. I'm doing very fine. Away from my little, castle, but it's okay. Like you said, this is Aliu Kamara. A lot of people know him as Aliu Samba. And yes, I listened to a portion of my brother's expose, and I'm ready to counter argue some of his points.
So the question to you, Aliu, why are you supporting Jose Yimambuaka and not supporting Alexander Benedict Cummings? There are two things I want you to do that.
Okay. First, let me start with why I am not supporting Alexander Cummings. The underlying reason why I do not support Alexander Cummings is because I do not know Alexander Cummings. That's the first thing. Who is Alexander Cummings? It is one thing reading about someone on the internet and actually knowing the person. As you can see, most of his surrogates or funders have not yet been able to sell Alexander Cummings, even though he has tried to navigate the political arena for about 4-5 years now. So if it is so difficult for his funder to sell him, how then can I put my money on him? So that's one of the main reasons why. And the second reason, generally, he hasn't proven anything to the general population. He has never been tested. We do not know what he's capable of. And overall, we don't know his agenda. Why do I support Joseph Yuma Boakai? Again, the opposite of Thomas, I know Joseph Yuma Boakai. We are very much aware of who Joseph Yuma Boakai is. I support Joseph Yuma Boakai because he is very astute. He has the character to go with his name. I support Joseph Yuma Boakai because he has the political advantage. He has the experience. He has the credentials. He has the connections. He has the calm dominion that is required in our political dispensation. I can sit here and label more than 1,000 things about why I support Joseph Yuma Boakai. But before we go further, let me make this disclaimer. I am not a member of the Unity Party. Every statement that I make here directly represents my personal view and opinion. I support Joseph Yuma Boakai, but I am not a spokesman or part of the spokesman of Joseph Yuma Boakai's campaign.
Thank you.
So whatever I say here directly represents my personal thoughts. I thought I'd do that.
Thank you, Aliu. Let me do a follow-up here. You say you support Joseph Yuma Boakai because he has an advantage. You also said because he has the connection and you know him, but you don't know Cummings. What is your definition of knowing? When you say you know Boakai, that is why you are supporting him. Is that a good reason because you know the person? When was the last time you met him? So explain to us what is knowing, first of all.
I'm going to say, when I say I know Joseph Yuma Boakai, I do not know Joseph Yuma Boakai just by reading about Joseph Yuma Boakai. I did not begin to know the name Joseph Yuma Boakai from the 12 years he served as vice president. I know Joseph Yuma Boakai because my uncle, Valley Sanon, as a cocoa farmer and buyer, became rich as a result of programs that Joseph Yuma Boakai adopted that affected Alofa County, Nimba County, and of course, Bond County.
Okay.
I began to know Joseph Yuma Boakai at that point. This was a time when people I know Valley Sano used to watch his pickup truck. I'm talking few of them. He buy crates of beer. That's how much money farmers would make. Prior to that, they did nothing more than assisted farmers. So I know Joseph Yuma Boakai from that point.
All right.
I also know Joseph. No, let me tell you some more. Let me tell you, because I don't just know Joseph Boakai because he's coming to America on a program. I don't just know Joseph Yuma Boakai because somebody said he was working at FTRC. I know Joseph Boakai when he worked at FTRC, and my uncle was the assistant minister for revenue, and I know Joseph Boakai personally.
So Ali, is that how we'll be voting for president now? You have to know the person personally?
No, you asked me to tell you what do I mean. No, I give you substance. I give you his ability by telling you that he took farmers from poverty to grace.
You mentioned your uncle. You mentioned your uncle. He made your uncle rich.
No, but see, that's the only one you capture. That's the only one you capture. When I call people my uncle, remember again, I am not a tribalist, but at the same time, I'm a traditionalist.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you grow up in the village, like you grew up in Southside, if you grew up in Southside, all of the people who are your father's crowd, you call them uncle. Okay.
Ali, let's come to the issue of connection, if you don't mind, brother.
Okay.
Let's come to the issue of connection. You said he also has connection. So talk to me about the connection that he has when his party, as we speak, is in court for non-rent payment for 3 years. Talk to me about that connection.
But see, that is very trivial to the issue that is at hand. The issue at hand here, we have a situation where people are dying without government even having a physical statistics of how many people have died so far in less than 3 months. We are talking about an economic society or condition that continues to plummet downhill. We are talking about someone who will come and take the Liberian people out of this dilemma that they continue to face.
All right.
We see the country going deeper and deeper and deeper in a hole. So this should be our point. This is what I want to focus on.
Thank
when
you.
people owe people, it is part of the capitalism system that we have. People must owe people, companies must owe companies, and that's how we live. You live in America. I bet you got mortgage statement. In your mind, you own a house. You don't own a house. Okay? The house belongs to the bank and the mortgage company. So that's the kind of system we have. What's wrong with the Unity Party owing somebody? But I want us to focus on the real issue.
Aliu, it's not the idea of owing. It's the idea of not paying your rent for 3 years, 6 months. You, Ali, if you not pay your mortgage for 6 months, you see foreclosure coming your way.
Did you have more Ali on your show today?
I did, and he admitted that they owed 3 years.
Did you reason with anything he said about that trivia issue?
Aliu, they negotiated a bad deal. Okay. They agreed to a $60,000 a year, and they could not pay. That's the fact.
Okay, that happened. That has happened. And so what now? So does that falls on Joseph Boca's head?
Of course, since 2010.
No. Did Joseph Boca arrange for the property?
Joseph Boca is the head of the political institution that is in arrears for 3 years.
Before he became the head, the arrangement had been done.
He's been the head of the Unity Party since 2017. This is 2021. That's 4 years, my brother.
You got to understand something.
Let me get to Franklin. Let me get to Franklin.
No. You got to understand something. Joseph Boca is a big man.
I know that.
Joseph Boca does not have connection with buildings and rent. He's got other bigger things that he's been consulted with. There are other people.
Connections should give you money.
Take care of those things. Okay, Joseph Boca does not take care of rent money and collect bills and all of this kind of stuff. You have to understand. This is the former vice president you're talking about.
Thank you.
Much bigger issues.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, if your party is in court for non-rent payment, if that is not a big issue,
then not saying that two Joseph Boca arranged prior to this particular time. Joseph Boca was able to get on that over $250,000 to take care of that place for the first time.
Congratulations to the vice president, and that is why we are equal.
1 minute.
Okay.
After he realized for the first time that the party actually owed this family, Joseph Boca did not even know that the party had not been paying bills. He had other things. He had to go meet the United Nations General Assembly. He had to go meet other bilateral partners. He had to go through other investment arrangements. He had to take care of local problems that we have.
Bilateral agreement and arrangement where as former vice president you are having bilateral arrangement where?
But Joseph Boca would travel around the world on behalf of the government.
That was before. That was before.
But what I'm telling you, you didn't understand more. You didn't understand more. The issue of the rent thing had already happened.
Let me get to Franklin. I'll come back to you, Aliu. I'll come back to you.
I just want you to understand that Joseph Boca
is this a monologue?
Thank you.
You guys are focused on rent money.
Thank you.
For rent money.
Thank you, Aliu. Franklin, you're listening to your colleague here. He said he's for Boca because he knows him. That's one of the reasons. Second, he has the advantage and he has a connection. Are those good enough reasons to decide for somebody to be president of a country, in your opinion? I think he has a good point. What do you think?
Thank you. It was so good that you asked Aliu, a few tough questions that I saw him really struggling with and trying to window dress. He spoke of advantage. He spoke of connection. And he did not tell us how this advantage and connection, have played out in Joe Boca's favor. Because if a person who has got, advantage, according to you, I don't know what you were comparing him to ABC or to just anybody, and has got connections. How come, the connection advantage was not, able to help him win the election when in fact he went to the election as an incumbent, or administration. So that is just a kind of a poor excuse. And then he talks about somebody, going around the world having bilateral engagements and what have you. I know my brother is just trying to push it for this discussion. The thing is, for a head of a political party, like the standard bearer of a party, to say that he did not know that his party was indebted for almost 3 years or 4 years, it only speaks volume of ineptitude. No political leader of a party will not be cognizant of his party owing for even 6 months. But I'm not going to delve into that. It is their, cup of tea. It is their prerogative. I'm talking about a person who wants to steer the affairs of the state. And I want my brother there to understand just how, even though he is being very self-centered, and he talk about his uncle benefited and got rich, I am in no way connected to Alexander Cummings. I bear no relation to him, but I can tell you for a fact there are several individuals, Nigerians, Ghanaians, Liberians, that Alexander Cummings groomed into big businessmen, and some of them have attested to that. We'll come to the point of be telling you who these people are. A typical example is one young man, Tai Wangwe, in Liberia there. People who went, under Cummings' tutelage and got to a level of, efficiency and professionalism, and to see a man who just left the shores of Liberia after graduating high school, coming to a competitive society such as America's, breaking through the ranks and file of professionalism, and gradually ascending from one level to another up to the level of vice president for a multi-billion-dollar, a concession or company, speaks volume of efficiency, impeccability, and results-oriented, initiatives. This is a man who has demonstrated raw, efficiency.
Franklin,
to get to the level that Coca-Cola got, it took not only the ingenuity of Alexander Cummings, but Alexander Cummings forms a part of that success story. We can point to the successes and achievements Coca-Cola had under this man's stewardship, and we as Liberians must be proud of it.
Franklin, the thing now, Cummings want to go into the public sector. So he has been in the public arena right now. He has been there as a political leader of a political institution. When he ventured into the race for the first time, and correct me if I'm wrong, my understanding is that none of his candidates or none of the people in his political party that contested at the legislative level won anything, including himself. Zero. What does that say?
You want to respond to that?
Yes.
Look, you have to understand how the politics works in our country. First of all, the district politics, the people within their districts decide who to elect as their representative. That decision is squarely theirs. When it comes to the Senate, people of that county are clothed with the responsibility of electing their wild senator. For the presidency is the whole country. So if people went on the ticket of ANC that was venturing into a very crucial election under the stewardship of Alexander Cummings, who was, I don't want to say a rookie, but a new entrant in our body politics.
So you could just
let me lay on this. Let me lay on this, please. Let me lay my thought on this. As far as I'm concerned, Alexander Cummings, as standard bearer of the ANC, supported all of his candidates in the counties. They had to augment his effort. This man was new to Liberian politics.
We're talking about results here. We're talking about results.
Results are relative.
Get a single result.
Results are relative. And I would say he made a huge impression on our body politics. As a new entrant, a man venturing into politics for the first time.
This business of politics is not about impression. It's about getting the job done.
No, but what I'm saying, okay, it was said then every other political leader besides George Weah failed, even including Baka, who was an incumbent vice president that went to the process was a big failure because he did not win anything.
All right.
He did not win the presidency. But what I'm saying, the constituents of the districts, the counties, they determine who represent them at the level of the House and then the Senate. So that politics is quite different from the one of the presidency. You can't blame that on Cummings. Cummings played his part with the people. The people should have played their part. If they did not win, okay, they did just that, did not win. That is not failure. Failure is when you cease to pursue your drive. That is when you will say you have failed. The place you get to say I give up. If you went to make an attempt and you did not get what you wanted, and you are still desirous of making an attempt, you are a man who is falling and waking up, dusting himself up, and moving ahead.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's come to the issue of judgment. It's key. It's fundamental. When you are a leader, you make decisions based on your judgment. If you have a bad judgment, we'll end up having a bad government and a bad country and a suffering people. So that is fundamental. A leader must have good judgment. These two candidates that we are talking about, I'm not sure they all have been able to exhibit good judgment so far. Let me come to Aliyu. Mr. Kamara.
Yes, sir.
We know Joseph Jiman Boakai is being referred to as the experienced and elder statesman. In his party, the Unity Party, at some point, Mo Ali, who are hard today, got in trouble. Here in the West and in civilized countries around the world, when a man gets into something that's troubling, that borders on character and reputation and morality, that person is made to be relieved of their position. Boakai did not exhibit good judgment by providing leadership that will see Mo Ali to step aside. In the case of Brodsky, whenever there was an issue in the party concerning a member, that person would step aside. Boakai did not exhibit good judgment with that. Now, also, as we speak, there is insults, from one side to the other, and each of these political leaders have their attack dogs. Boakai have Costa, who insulted him last election. And this is the guy. He has taken over officials of his party. Is that a good judgment, Aliyu?
First of all, let me just, before I get to that point, let me just address something quick. The brother said something about Joseph Boakai was an Cuban during the 2017 election. Joseph Boakai was not Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, so he could not have been an Cuban.
No, to a point. Let me correct that.
Okay, but let's talk about your judgment when it comes to the Mo Ali thing. Again, trivia things are not my strength, but I will address it for the benefit of the conversation. There were two adults. Nobody raped no one. Two adults had a consensual relations, and somebody got pregnant. Because of that, another person must lose their job.
Extramarital affairs. Extramarital affairs.
Was it a case of child abuse? Was it a case of statutory rape? Were there any crimes committed? Was there any moral breach broken? Absolutely not.
If that happened to your daughter, Aliyu, had that happened to Mr. Boakai's daughter, how will you talk about it?
Let's not do it that way. Let's not do it that way.
It's my job to do it that way. Go ahead.
Let's speak of the issue as they are.
Okay.
A woman 18 years old under law universally is a woman. And when an adult male and a female consensually have sex, there's nothing criminal about that. There's nothing immoral about that. That is just common sense. There's nothing to get to for any point to be attended here. Okay? So I do not see that as anything. Did Mo Ali do anything in contravention of the Unity Party Code of Conduct? That's what you must look at. In order for an institution to take action against one of its own, that person must have broken a code of that institution's conduct. Now we need to investigate. Did Mo Ali break any conduct of the Unity Party? That's another thing you should look at before you get into these things. Again, trivia stuff are not my strength. They are serious economic deficits that we are facing, that the generation unborn and the generation even right now behind us are going to have to face. And it's going to be something very, very tough. Now, regarding your other point about Henry Costa,
right?
I applaud the vice president, as a matter of fact. I applaud the vice president that he never begrudges anyone. He brings the people who have been his fiercest critics from day one. This is a way of showing to all Liberians how to be a better leader. A good leader is the one who will work with his critics and his supporters alike. So
what's about this supporter? Hold on, Ali. What's about this supporter insulting his fellow political leader on the other side? Is that okay to you?
You said, first of all, you said he insulted Joseph Boakai.
And you just addressed that, so I'm asking the other piece.
Yeah, I'm coming. If Joseph Boakai would accept him for insulting him, Joseph Boakai himself, then there's always a tendency that Joseph Boakai, but here is the thing, okay?
Oh, so it's good for Joseph Boakai to accept him.
I wouldn't use the word good or bad. I'm not going to use those words. What I'm going to tell you, Mr. C, is that Henry Pedro Costa does not work for Joseph Yuma Boakai.
He does.
Again,
he does.
You guys should take the wrong thing and pin it on people.
He does. He works for Joseph Boakai.
The Secretary General.
He is the chairman. He is the chairman. Hold on, you let's correct that.
The Secretary General of the Unity Party informed you that Henry Pedro Costa is not the face of Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai's campaign. He said that clearly, as emphatically as possible. He said Henry Costa is not the face. Remember, Henry Costa is a member of the All Liberian Party. And Henry Costa is not even among the hierarchy of that party. Henry Costa is not a ranking member of the CPP. Henry Costa is entitled to his view on his personal show just as much as Anthony C.A. is entitled to his view on his show. Joseph Boakai does not control that. What Joseph Boakai is doing and has been doing over the years, and we all applaud and try to learn from, and you also must learn from, is that you must be willing to work with people who criticize you as well as people who love you.
Thank you. Let's come to you, Franklin. I want to get your response on that, then we'll go on your side because we see some things to
yeah. Go ahead. I would have really felt bad had Aliyu not come on this show. You know, it is good that we have two sides of the coin. Aliyu is struggling again to provide a defense for an act that my good friend, a younger brother, Mo Ali, committed. You know, I hate being, very personal, but since a discussion, let's have it, because it is good to call a spade, and then, we move on. He said there was no moral breach. I wonder Aliyu knows the marital status of Mo Ali. How can you say there is no moral?
He's not married.
How can you say there is no moral breach of a married man having extramarital affair? So to say that there was no moral breach, I think that was really unfortunate on his part to even want to defend that. And this is one of the things that is really affecting us as a people. We just can't muster the courage to deal with a wrong. We always want to shield a wrong because it is about us and it is not helping us. The issue about Pedro, who also is a younger brother, insulting Joseph. If JNB doesn't take offense, fine, that's okay. Because I will not speak to any political leader for that matter, irrespective of my support for Alexander Cummings. And let me be on record, just as he said, I owe no membership to any political party. I am not an ANC man. I just believe that Alexander Benedict Cummings, water on the ticket of ANC as a Liberian, can provide a better leadership. But let me just say this, irrespective of my support for Alexander Benedict Cummings, I will not speak of any political leader in such a demeaning and denigrating manner. Let me tell you this, every political leader, I repeat, is a potential president. Meaning, owing to the dynamics of politics, anybody as a political leader can become president tomorrow. But I think that particular, session is haunting them. They are dealing with it, and let them continue to deal with it. You need to owe up to the responsibility of providing leadership. I think this is one of the areas, irrespective of the woman's, endowment of age, has fallen short of. He has fallen short of leadership. He has demonstrated that time and time and again. He did so as Vice President under Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And let me correct my brother who said, I said he went as an incumbent. I said he went representing an incumbent administration. You and I know too well than to be told that United Party was steering the affairs of the state when we went to 2017 elections. Anthony, am I lying?
That is the truth.
Isn't that incumbent said?
Yeah.
Okay. So to fast forward, there was people may ask, and this is what we need to really hit hard on the head. Why is it we are running around here to say former President Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did not support her Vice President Joseph Yuma Bwaka? Do you also know that there was a crisis within the United Party where some stars of the United Party disrespected their first partisan who was President of the Republic of Liberia in a way and manner that even JNB, who was supposed or was looking forward to succeeding this woman, should have condemned? Did you see any time JNB lashing at the likes of Woman Pay and Vani Sharma at the time they denigrated Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? That was a form of ingratitude on his part. Knowing that there's this woman that handpicked him to serve as a vice president for 12 consecutive years. That was lack of leadership. Even the crisis within the CPP. This is something some of us saw ahead when people started, unleashing insults and attacks on other political leaders.
Frankly,
and this elderly man, who is an elderly statesman, who has now just assumed the chairmanship of the party, sat over there and did not provide direction, did not provide leadership. Only because, in my mind, the game was playing in his favor. It is like throwing the stone and hiding your hand. And we must say these facts.
Thank you. And frankly, we'll come to your side. I see something there too that Cummings is not showing leadership, but I'll have to bring Aliyu in of something that you said. Aliyu, you're listening to Franklin talking about when there was this rift within the Unity Party. At some point, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf got expelled from her party. And he talked about Vani Sharma, Webon Page. They went at Ellen, they denigrated her, they insulted her. Bwaka demonstrated ingratitude. Is that believable?
First of all, let me just say, I feel my brother's passion. I feel his pain. When you like something, it's okay to be passionate about it. I see the level of passion he has. I see the level of sentiment that he has built up over a period of time, using the personification, I, the first person pronoun. If I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. But that is you. That is you. What you wouldn't do, someone else would do. Look, let me just say this, Anthony. People must learn to abide by system. The United Party has disciplinary laws or rules that govern its institution when it comes to people being disrespectful or doing things out of the way. Joseph Bwaka, as the vice president, was not an official day-to-day running member of the political party. If there were partisans within the party who broke the code of conduct of the United Party, it behooved the leadership of the United Party through its through its chairman, to take the necessary action, not the vice president.
We're talking about an insult as well, Ali. You want to comment on that?
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Some people believe in doing things according to the book, while you people are discussing feelings. There's a difference. Let me just address this. A lot of the time people say, oh, this other person said this, the VP did not say that. This other person said this, the VP did not say that. Remember, the Abdullah Kamara freedom of speech but Joseph Bwaka was one of those who supported that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And therefore he believes that
so anybody on his side can insult just about anything. You should not say anything, right?
Listen, the Secretary General of the Authority National Congress.
You seem to be indicting the Vice President.
I'm coming to you. the Secretary General of the Alternative National Congress insulted Benanayere.
And I'm going to come to that, Ali. So save that. So
I'm coming.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
No. We're talking about, you talk about Henry Costa.
All right, go ahead.
You talk about Henry Costa insulting somebody. Henry Costa is a nobody within the CPP. You're talking about a Secretary General of one of the players in the CPP insulting 3 of the other political leaders in the party. Did you hear Alexander Cummings say anything about that? Did he condemn that? Did he ask his Secretary General to resign or retract his statement? Why, when you guys are putting the weight on Joseph Boakai, why don't you guys even it out? Why is it okay for people among Alexander Cummings' crew to carry out insults and all kinds of mismanaged words, but then when someone who is not even a member of Joseph Boakai's party makes a comment, and Joseph Boakai has to be responsible for that.
Thank you.
People must have the right to speak their mind, and that is why we did the Freedom of Speech Act.
Thank you, Aliu. And to be honest, I'm going to come to that. And I told you that there is some lack of leadership on the other side. I think you heard me saying that. I'm going to come to that. So since you brought it up, let's do it. Yeah. Mr. Franklin Wisse.
You know, I would
hold on, Franklin. Let me lay the. I know he started, but I have to lay the basis as the moderator here.
Okay.
Mr. Aloysius Stowe, in his capacity as the Secretary General of the ANC, a party's Cummings head, who you guys claim to be Mr. Clean, decent man, the office of that party secretary, I mean, the office of the Secretary General was used by Aloysius Stowe and went after Benanayere, Costa, Nyombli, and nailed them in the public space. I think that was endorsed by Cummings. And you think that's good judgment when they are in a political union? Talk to me. Is that good judgment?
Thank you. I wouldn't attempt to, to push a foot as my esteemed colleague is doing. I will call a spade, and I want to be quick to admit that that press statement or press conference that was held by Aloysius Stowe, Councillor Aloysius Stowe, was a press conference that I responded to. I did a Facebook. You can just go on my page. You see when I listed all of the wrongs, with the constituent political parties, and I dealt with each of them equally. I blamed Mr. Alexander Cummings that he did not provide leadership to have even allowed his Secretary General, to go. We can't do this eye for an eye thing, that kind of a Moses law. An eye for an eye. If we had an eye for an eye, there will be no eye left in the village. So I will admit, as my esteemed colleague would not want to admit to any of their force, that it was a kind of a misstep on the part of the ANC. I'm not an ANC person, but I will always say that a wrong is a wrong, irrespective of who commits it. And let me just say another thing, that my brother is really like trying to use as a left line. Sometimes we concern ourselves so much with a reaction, my brother, and not caring about what precipitates that reaction. What do I mean? You and I know, and let us not be pretentious about this, that this whole attack on a political party came from the camp or the supporters of Boakai on Alexander Cummings. You also know that the ALP political leader, you levied an allegation on Alexander Cummings and referred to him as being nefarious and used all kind of harsh words on him. I mean, referencing the framework being altered. But prior to that, even prior to that framework stuff, except you want to be pretentious, as I said, there was a barrage of attack on Alexander Cummings' person because people feel he is not entitled. He's a newcomer.
Frankly, if I may throw this in, you just said the eye for an eye scenario is not good, and I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Now, in the same vein, supporters of Mr. Alexander Cummings whether they are policy or not, but in as much as they are supporters, I don't know what your excuse is going to be because you didn't sanction it, maybe that. But let me make my point here. They are going after Joseph Human Boaka for his health. Now, a member of the ANC, Dr. Francis, she was trying to question Boaka's cognitive ability on a major platform.
Sure.
And many have gone after him. Now he's even using battery. I have not heard Mr. Cummings to have a press conference and say, this is unacceptable. If you support me, make my case, and you don't have my authorization to go and insult my colleague. No, that's what sets John McCain apart. John McCain had to call out his own supporter, a woman, that Obama is a decent family man. We just having to have a fundamental disagreement. Cummings can't tell me he doesn't know about that.
Sure.
But he swallowed it all because it benefits him. How is he different?
Thank you. So, you know, and as I've said, I'm not going to be a kind of a crusader of this, you know, trading of insults, you know, people on the other side attacking the others and whatever. But what I'm trying to say, this could have been prevented. And all of them, there's a blanket verdict of lack of leadership, you know, in that direction. And I'm not going to mince my words. That aside, if we take each of them separately, we can place them, you know, or place him on the pedestal and make a determination of who can really bring the needed transformation this country needs. Because all of what is happening, you know what I kept saying? When all of these things are happening, Anthony, I don't know if you've been following me. I've been this kind of a person, and that is why you and others will say I was on the fence. Because my thing was, let us have a kind of a united, you know, collaboration that will determine a very good ticket that all of us will support. Okay. Later, did I understand that some people were feeling too entitled and they didn't want to go, you know, to a primary to determine people I wanted to base that judgment on numbers and blah blah blah. I am blaming all of the leaders of the constituent political parties for not providing leadership enough, especially, you know, to their partisans to control them. But I can remember at a point in time, Cummings issued a statement that his supporters should tone down. And, you know, I heard him say that. I heard him say that. I also heard Boaka also telling his people, you know, to calm down and stop the insults. But what happened is that it was kind of I don't want to say belated, you know, but this is something that could have been prevented. You cannot be in a marriage, a quote-unquote marriage, collaborating, and then be kind of tearing each other apart. And I said this in one of my posts, that it will come to a point that this thing will become irreparable, you know, and that is what we are faced with now.
Exactly.
I don't see the collaboration holding any longer. Everybody now is like, you know, wanting to say his own candidate. And that is what I think some of us will do. I am going to really spend my time and effort behind a person who I think can provide a better leadership, and not necessarily on a basis of a person who can win. I am supporting a person who should win, and not a person who must win because he's got numbers.
Thank you. Aliu, I will give you a minute and a half here for you to respond. And this is what I want to say to you. Your colleague has admitted the unbecoming behavior exhibited on the side he supports. But all I see you doing here is justifying everything, making excuses. Aliu, do you want to be a man here? Do you not see anything wrong? Do you not see anything wrong on the side you support at all? Nothing? Everything is just perfect?
First of all, let me add that I'm a complete man. I don't want to be man. I'm already a man. But let me just say this. My good friend Franklin is saying that Joseph Jamal Barker's team were the one who started the whole attack on Arizona Cummings. You know, that's very unfortunate for anyone to say that. Who is Joseph Jamal Barker's team? Joseph Jamal Barker's team. Who is the United Party that attacked Arizona Cummings? Give me one United Party partisan that started the attack on United Party. Was it Mo Ali? Was it Amin Modad? Was it any of the other guys on social media? Was it them? No. Who started the attack was Unity Party partisans. You have to say that ANC partisans. They went after Bouaka as being a cartel. They went after Bouaka as being a part of the establishment. They accused Bouaka, the ANC accused Bouaka on all platforms of being one of the corrupt individuals. That $16 billion landed in Bouaka's hand. All of the negative things that ever fell upon the Unity Party was launched against Joseph Yuma Bouaka by the ANC.
And so Bouaka now has to unleash Costa, right?
But listen, here's the thing though. But what you're not understanding here is people who were on the other side attacking the ANC on behalf of Joseph Yuma Bouaka are all sympathizers of Joseph Yuma Bouaka. If you say the Unity Party started the attack,
Ali, I want you to admit to at least that there is wrong on the other side. Do you not see anything wrong on the side? I mean,
no, but the point I'm trying to make to you here is Joseph Bouaka has not been confrontational in any day in his life. He has never confronted anyone in the manner in which Alexander Cummings has been confronting Joseph Bouaka in the airways, on social media and everywhere. He even called Joseph Bouaka and his colleagues as people who can't read, but they want to be president of the country. Now remember one thing. For me, when I hear Henry Costa and other people who are fans of Joseph Yuma Bouaka expressing their opinion, it doesn't matter to me because they are opinions. But when the ANC Senate bearer Alexander Cummings himself begin to insult the other political leaders, when the Secretary General of the ANC begins to insult the other leaders, then everything else doesn't matter to me. ANC automatically becomes the problem. Should I agree here that yes, some people on the other side there have been mistakes here and there? Well, let me just say this. The problem here in the CPP is the ANC, and that's the bottom line.
All right, gentlemen, let's come to something substantive, and then we'll bring in our viewers' comments.
In just 1 minute, just 1 minute. May I just refute something he said? Just 1 minute, please.
Please, less than a minute. I gave you 45 seconds.
So, okay. Comrade Aliu continuously is having serious difficulty with the truth. Okay? To say that, people who support, who insult Cummings are not from the Unity Party, they are sympathizers. If a person says, I support Bouaka for president, and then he takes all of his time on his platform to rain insults at Bouaka's opponents, whose favor is he playing? And then another thing, for my brother to also say that no political leader ever, referred to Alexander Cummings did not insult. He was only questioning, his colleagues for not, if they claim reading their documents properly. If they actually did, they wouldn't be saying what is he said. But Yuri, who also happens to be the political leader of the party that I don't want to mention Costa's, but let me just call it that Costa comes from. You know what I mean? Refer to Cummings as being nefarious. You want to define that word and know what it means? Is that a praise? You refer to your colleague as being nefarious, and you spread a lie all over that has been going all around that the man document. Isn't that a seed of discord that he sold? I mean, let Aliu, even if he wants to support his side or support his candidate, let him be man enough. He claims to be a man. I don't think he's a man enough to be able to call a spade a spade. Lastly, you're talking about Costa is not a member of the Unity Party. Bouaka is in America now as we speak. Every move of Bouaka, everywhere he goes, anything he does, is being controlled by Henry Costa. What do you say about that? Where are the Union parties?
Costa is the chairman. He's the chairman of the committee.
So what is Aliu pussyfooting? Is that man enough? And they are the ones causing the problem.
Thank you, Frankie. Aliu, hold on. Aliu, hold on. Let me give you something. Aliu, hold on. I will give you a minute to push back. Then we'll go to the other major question. That is major. We have to discuss it. I will need to bring in my viewers here quickly. So, gentlemen, let's be economical with the time. Aliu, you said no member of the Unity Party has ever insulted Cummings, and all those that are doing the insults.
I did not say that.
Oh.
What did you say?
He said the Unity Party started the assaults and insults.
And you went on by saying no member of the Unity Party.
I am saying no, the Unity Party did not start. That was the business of
so do you agree that Unity Party partisans have also insulted Cummings?
But it didn't start it. Coming started
No,
it.
answer my question, Aliu. Do you believe?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Because that was the question I wanted to ask, because I know my GM brother Josh Lobo is on record for calling Cummings.
Josh Lobo only started doing that recently when he realized.
It doesn't matter.
But it's an evidence now.
We are talking about a behavior, whether or not it started some time ago, it's just a bad behavior. And we as a people, if we want our democracy to be, competitive and productive and civil. I agree, but that doesn't mean we should use insult.
Without you coming back to fight?
Aliu, fighting does not mean you should insult. If that is the understanding of your fight, then I don't want to be part of that fight.
If the person who is insulting can only understand the language of insult, then you have to go ahead and meet them halfway.
Oh, wow.
Let me progress. Aliu will never accept.
All right. Let's move to the next issue here, gentlemen, please. Let's move to the next issue here. Folks, this is Focus on Liberia. Anthony hosting the Hour of Politics. It's getting heated yet, and I'm enjoying myself. I think the gentlemen are having a very fruitful discussion. This is like a debate. But before we go to my next question for us to bring you in, let's take a short break and we'll be right back, gentlemen.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jack.
And I am Anthony Sear, the host of the Hour of Politics here. Focus on Liberia. As always, we are broadcasting from our headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Aliu Kamara is my guest. My guest also is Franklin Wisa. Franklin supports Mr. Elisana Benedict Cummings, whereas Mr. Aliu Kamara supports Mr. Joseph Yuma Bwaka Sr., former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. We are back with you, gentlemen. Franklin, where are you? Because I want you to start this segment. And this is the question that I'm asking. Why Franklin is not here, let's get to Aliu. Aliu, my question here is, how will Joseph Yuma Bwaka leverage the tremendous expertise and economic power of the Liberian diaspora that President Weah has not been able to do a better job with than Cummings would do?
Very, very important question. And this is the direction I want the conversation to take. Not somebody's feelings or sentiment or how much they love a guy.
That was the issue of judgment and morality. It's very important. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So thanks for this particular question. Now, Joseph Bwaka made it clear, first of all, before we go forward, that his investment in human capital will not only be based off of us in the diaspora. He's also of the conviction that there are other young men and women who have gone to school in Liberia and have graduated and they live there. They also equally have talent. So what he intends to do is to use our experience, coupled with probably the euphemism or euphoria of those that are already on the ground who understand some of the things that we do not understand because some of us have been away for so long, so that we can collaborate and work as a team in moving the country forward. I think one of the ways he's going to do that is he's going to tap in areas of specialties. For example, Anthony CA is an IT professional. And then Joseph Yuma Bwaka wants to create databases, but at the same time wants to protect them as cyber protection. So he calls Anthony CA, their team set up, interviews Anthony CA. Anthony CA goes to Liberia, work along with the other people that are already there who have gone to school in Liberia and Ghana and other places, together to come up with new ideas and move the country forward. But the answer to your question in that regard is leadership. All of it bows to leadership. I remember you usually say this. Now, if the leader like Joseph Parker, who has a sense of direction, he has vision, okay? He exactly knows what to do and how to transform somebody's talent into an equitable benefit for the Liberian society. That's what he's going to do.
Aliu,
so what Joseph Parker, yes.
Aliu, Mr. Bwaka had the opportunity along with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and we're talking about they not being able to meaningfully leverage the tremendous expertise and economic power of the Liberian diaspora. I'm not sure if they did that to the benefit of Liberia. I mean, how can you say now that he will do it better this time?
I'm glad you brought this point, Anthony, and we have to make this clear, not just for us here and for the audience as well to understand. A lot of our people, a lot of the people of my generation and your generation, the generation right next to ours in Liberia do understand not just the Liberian political system, but Africa's political system and sometimes even the Western political system. When people, and I'm not going to divulge Joseph Jimoh Boakai from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's success or defeat. I'm not going to do that because he was a member of the United Party and he was a member of the ruling government. What is also true and what we must also recognize is that as a vice president, he did not call the shot. The vice president under our constitution does not have the power to appoint, Anthony. The vice president under our constitution does not have the power to terminate anyone, Anthony. Anthony, the ministers and the directors and the superintendents and the police, whatever, they're appointed by the president. They work through by the will and pleasure of the president.
So come to my question, Aliu. How will he tap into the diaspora? Yeah.
I'm answering your question. The way I'm answering your question, this is what I want you to understand. You cannot tie Joseph Boakai 100%. You understand? So the fact that some people were hired from the diaspora and other places in the United Party-led government who did not perform, and therefore Joseph Boakai did not do a good job, that would be faulty. That would be unfair to Joseph Jimoh Boakai.
How will he do it now? Let's forget about the blame. How will he do it now? Should he become president? How will he do it?
Well, he has told you in more than 1,000 words. He has told you that he will utilize the expertise of Liberia both.
How? That is the how I want you to give me. How?
But it's very simple. It's very simple.
So give it to me simply.
Here is the thing. Listen to me. If you are a medical doctor and you're a nurse, you're a neurosurgeon. Is there any difficulty if somebody hires you, Anthony, you're a doctor, you're a neurosurgeon, and they hire you at GFK as a chief neurologist? Don't you know what to do there?
And that's all. Just hire me.
But wait a minute now. That's the process. You know how people get hired. You know your resume have to be put up there. You know you have to go through interview. You know you have to be scrutinized. You know that. We don't. I don't think we have the luxury of time to do all the ABC explanation.
All right, thank you.
What we are trying to tell you is Joseph Boakai will do the superseding. Joseph Boakai will do the spearheading, but he will leave the technical aspect to you, Anthony C.A., while he provides the guidance. He knows what he wants you to do. You are the one with the pragmatic experience and intellect, and therefore he will use that. But both of you will have to work together because he knows exactly what he wants his ending, finding, or results to do.
Thank you, Aliu. Mr. We say, I think you're listening very clinically to your colleague, but let me put a question on your side. How will Mr. Cummings leverage the tremendous expertise and economic power of the Liberian diaspora that President Weah has knowingly in a way that Boakai is not able to do?
You know, that's a very beautiful question. And again, I saw my brother struggling. If Aliu were to,
it seems to be he's from Strugglesville.
Yeah, if you were to be a person to sell his candidate to me, and let us assume that I was still on the fence and I needed to make a decision, I can say Aliu has failed miserably to convince me to support his candidate. The question is simple: how can Alexander Benedict Cummings harness? That's another word I'm using. Harness the potentials of professional Liberians in the diaspora, you know, in the forward march of Liberia in a way better than Joseph Yuma Boakai. First of all, just within a short period of time that the ANC was established, you can see that the ANC is rooted in the diaspora almost as it is in the motherland. And Alexander Cummings visits periodically, I mean, if not consistently, America, and every time he's here, he's engaged with the Liberians in the diaspora. And the ANC has spread its tentacles beyond America to other places, Australia, Russia, London. You know, ANC is having its cells and auxiliaries in those places. And the intent is to be able to scout professional Liberians across the globe who you will be, you know, like bringing on board to add to the ones you got back home in the event that is elected president. The way to do that is to remain engaged with the people. And this is something Alexander Cummings has been doing almost every time. You and I know too well that Alexander Cummings visits America at least 3 times a year. Ever since he declared his intention to be president, he has always been coming, and every time he is here, Franklin, he is involved and engaged.
Franklin, may I follow up here? When Mr. Cummings comes, he comes because he wants to benefit from their support. And we see him dancing, something we have not seen before. He's dancing with them. It's like he's trying to tantalize them, you know, to come on my side so you can talk to your people on the ground. I am talking, you really define or explain my question in the terms that other people will understand better. How do you harness the potential here in America of Liberians to boost the economy in Liberia? Then you're talking about you can't meeting with the people. You're just talking to the people so they will vote for him so they can contribute to a campaign. How will he do it to benefit Liberia and Liberians?
Absolutely. Let us not be pretentious about this. When a political leader comes to, I will lay emphasis on America because America is our partner country. You understand what I mean?
Let's do so.
When they come here, besides their private life, they come here to engage with the people, the Liberians that are here, and sell their vision, explain their vision to them, and obviously win their support. Okay. Because that is what you actually want to help, you know, realize your dream. The issue of somebody dancing, I'm coming.
Living Liberia up economically.
No what?
How does that translate into empowering Liberians, empowering Liberia,
coming to engage with people here?
Economically.
Do you know how much the ANC under the auspices of Alexander Cummings gave to Liberia to fight the coronavirus? Do you know how many interventions Alexander Cummings, ANC USA have made under the situation of Alexander Cummings to salvage certain situations in Liberia, economic and community-driven projects? So when Cummings comes here, there's issue of the merit making. You know, that is why I don't go into people, you know, saying, because I can provide several videos of Ome Boakai dancing and people dancing with him. What is wrong with that? Who is stopping merriment? But what is the occasion? The occasion is to meet with cross-section of Liberians in the diaspora and explain your policy. So that isn't anything wrong. And let the brother be civil. Let him be civil. When he's talking, I allow him to talk. We can't talk together. Ali has to be civil because, I mean, let me be very frank with you. You know, I had really expected a more combative, you know, interaction. And quite frankly, I see Ali is really struggling. I don't think he can really market his candidate. I can understand that he has a soft spot for Boakai, but I'm sorry to say he really needs to do a little bit of research and, you know, improve on his marketing skills of his candidate. Because what I've just seen from him, if I were indecisive, I can tell you for sure he has failed to win one person on his side.
Thank you, Franklin. Thank you, Franklin. Aliu, 1 minute, and then we'll go to the comments, please.
My brother Franklin, I'm really glad to have exchanged this platform with you today. I like you. You're very entertaining. You say you keep going after me, but you have not been able to adequately answer any questions here. You play around the question until you make Anthony forget what he was even asking you. The question was, how can you leverage?
Man, don't forget, man. You from Strugglesville.
I answer the questions better than you.
You are protected. Go ahead.
So I'm giving you detail. It may not be enough for the answer you want. I'm giving you detail how we're going to combine, how Joseph Yuma Baka is going to combine talents in America based on their expertise to that of our locally trained Liberians to enhance our human capacity. Joseph Baka focuses on human capacity development because he believes that that will solve our long-term developmental problems. You know, the short-term can be you go in, you bring in quick impact projects, quick impact ideas and systems to get the economy up and running.
Aliu,
yes.
Aliu, did you see the video of Ambassador Boaka or Vice President Boaka in the church? And this my man, give me a chance. Let me do my thing. You know, in the church, and they lay hands on him, and they're calling him Moses, and he's going to be the next president, and he sat there.
Okay.
What you make of that? Is that one of the engagements that he's on in America? No pastors in Liberia now.
Again, I keep telling you trivial stuff are not my strength.
All right.
Joseph Baka is a Christian. If he goes among Christians, they have their own rituals, they perform. As you may very well know, I am not a Christian.
But we saw that with Thomas Fowler, and we know how that ended. So for another statement, you know, to be sitting there and this guy wasting his time there.
Again, that's superstition. If you believe in it to work or not to work, then somehow you're in there. But for me, it didn't matter to me.
All right.
I'm a pragmatic person. I don't care about all of that stuff.
All right. On a serious note, though, according to my good brother, Josh Lobo, he said Joseph Yuma Baka will be engaging state officials, state representatives, and about maybe 2 or 3, I don't know the exact number, but 40 for the containers of medical supplies and all that we'll be taking. So I hope that happens so that somebody in Liberia can benefit something from the vice president. That would be good. Wait, I'm a fair guy.
That would be the first time, though. The vice president have been shipping containers to Liberia. The vice president have been shipping vehicles to Liberia. Okay. The vice president has even supplied the police department with vehicles and other supplies.
And we saw the boat the last time, right? We saw the boat. And the price of the motor was so expensive.
The vice president had the boat you're talking about. You're trying to be derogatory about that boat.
Oh, come on, Aliu, man. I'm bringing things up to give you the opportunity. I'm trying to help you out here.
I'm begging you, Aliu, man. I'm begging you, please.
Out here, man. Come on.
I want to speak for myself.
Leave Aliu, please.
Right now, as we speak, is serving the people of Riverside County.
You see, now I gave you something, and now you're telling me I'm derogatory. I give you something to you. You're struggling here. Go ahead.
No, I'm not struggling anything. The point I'm trying to make to you here is we should not take the containers that John Lobo talked about to say, well, you know, at least for the Liberian people to benefit something from Joseph Baka. The Liberian people have always benefited things from Joseph Yuma Baka. He is not the type that wants to be on the news. He's not the type that wants to talk about everything that he does, like the ANC and frankly, we say other people. That is not who he is as a person.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. Franklin,
the brother said the VP does things and doesn't want publicity. I don't know how come we got to know about the boat because that thing was just a whole week discussion anyway. But I will tell you this.
Ali, you just finished. Let them go ahead.
Be civil now, Aliu. I can understand you drowning.
I'm just saying.
Be civil. I can send you a lifeline to save you. You won't drown. Listen, every contribution that Alexander Cummings has made to Liberia, even through his foundation and his political party, is out of his private life. Alexander Cummings has never held Alexander Cummings has never held any government position. Everything he has committed to that country through his political party and his foundation. I think you are aware of the Alexander Cummings Foundation that has cut across the broader spectrum of the country, everywhere in the lower counties. The Alexander Cummings Foundation. Google Alexander Cummings Foundation. You see what they are involved with in Liberia. He's doing everything as a private citizen. He has not become president yet, though.
All right, gentlemen, let's go to the comments. Let's go to the comments. Folks, we are coming to your comments. A little bit. Let's read your comments. We will not take call today. Aliu, no. Aliu, we have to go to the comment. Aliu, no. Okay. Thank you. That point is made. We'll have to go to. All right, folks, we want to read your comments here quickly. Let's hear from Hamilton here. Misconception of JNB's assertion, that person writes. Let's hear from, this is Harry Jr., right? Mr. Franklin, we said, when you got to know VP Joseph Yimambwaka bad characters, and when you got to know Mr. Alexander Benente Cummings good characters, you said that when you got to know those characters of each of the leaders, remember you said ABC have a wonderful character than anybody who wants to be president. All right, Lady Fidel. Let's hear from this one from Marie Bade. This man don't know what he is talking. He is just another waste of time. Marie, let the man say his thing. Just so let us learn to be respectful. Just a waste of time. You know, the man is making some sentence. Okay, so it's obvious, right? Let's hear from Margaret here. Margaret writes, what VP anywhere ever becomes a VP and brings his president down, especially in Liberia? I really don't get it clear there.
What Franklin, because you wanted the vice president never ever spoke against Ellie.
Sarah Slimane. Aliu, wait after the comments, you guys will respond. The vice president was part of all corruption practices. So this is no argument to be wasting time on. So what makes the old man any change? That person concludes. Let's hear from Abetha Davis here. Mr. C, I hope you will not let this man get away with lying. I know you are a fair-minded person. Even the audience know I am a fair-minded guy, no matter what Aliu thinks of me. You know, see, he's laughing. He's laughing, you know. Let's hear from Jackson. Jackson, right? Jackson is talking to somebody. I want people who will speak to what we are talking. Anthony again, being president of Liberian Senate does not give you the right to change anything. Example can be equated with that of the U.S. government, where Mark Pence could not change anything when it came to authenticating the Electoral College vote. His role was just ceremonious. Or let's hear from our YouTube viewer. Yeah, and folks, you can also watch on YouTube anytime we are live. So, Mr. Wisse, don't believe in democracy. The VP position is to preserve over, maybe meant to say preside, over the Senate, not to interfere in the Senate decision, and I may add, making. Let's hear from Mancred again. She wrote a long one. So coming that taking huge doses of I don't like that. I don't like when people write like that. Those things are necessary here. Margaret, if you are just following us, please don't do that here. We don't read those kind of things. Abby Tyler writes, I don't think Cummings would appreciate a surrogate calling an elderly man his opponent retarded. Let's be careful how we use these medical terms around here. And Abby Tyler is focused on Liberia health contributor, and so she is speaking with authority that these things, people, that's why we're telling you, let us go away from these behaviors. Let's hear from Harry again. Your millionaire left his old party headquarters to a new one that's very small than the first one at a very cheap price. All right, that man is a businessman. I don't know. Let's hear from Laraman Yanton, a dear friend. He's a chairman, and he's referring to Franklin. Franklin is a big chairman. Let's hear from Jatu here. When a 20-year-old is pregnant, is that not a crime? You stop making nothing out of something. If that girl was below 18 years, we the women were really to stand up. All right. Let's come to Augustine, right? JNB said he can only speak on important issues. The crisis in CPP was or is not important. The killings of everyday Liberians, all the bad deeds for in the Senate for 12 years, the person is putting it that way, was not important too. That person is asking question because Mr. JNB said he can only speak on things that are important. Let's hear from Andrew. Andrew, right? Answering, wasn't you the same person who carried false story about Cummings being gay? You are no saint, but a hypocrite. That person is dealing with me. But the person got it wrong. I never carry any story Cummings being gay. The folks in the comment may be mad with me for a lot of things, but in no way they would say to you that Anthony said, Cummings was gay. I never said that. Cummings is a troublemaker, a desperate hustler, and a liar, a cheat. His fingers are the proof. That is Margaret again. Margaret is on mission here, and she's doing her thing. They are from Moses Anthony say, to be honest, no need to ask Aliyu to agree to the facts here. He has shown who he is and what he stands for tonight. Regardless of what he says, the fact remains, and history will remember him. Aliyu, Moses, that's Steve Bolle. He is holding you accountable in a big way. Oh, this person is responding to Margaret. I don't go into that. Let's see what Moses says about Mr. Wisa. Indeed, Mr. Wisa, this Aliyu man guy is doing a terrible job trying to sell JNB. He is hurting JNB more than that's the thing I learned about these. You the supporters. Yeah, like from Samuel or Galimon. Personally, I disagree with insult. Manta, I disagree with insult. Manta, who does it? I don't know how to put it there. But I want you all to know that politics and political parties are not organizations being run according to the Holy Bible. Anyway, that's a long one there. Thank you for your contribution. Let's hear from Jimmy Eastman. Jimmy Wright, let me ask that question, Anthony. I am on time. I don't know. Let me ask that question, Anthony. I'm on the line. Oh, okay. He said he's on the line. Oh, the line got cut off because this JNB supporter will not get on through the video. I don't know what he's afraid of. We'll leave it there for comments. We can read all I hear from Fale. The only way that Cummings will win the election is to carry on a merger with Bouaka as the vice standard bearer of CPP. Despite their merger, President Weah will win. That person must be a Weah person, I would think. Gentlemen, few comments. Let's start with you, Aliyu. You were just laughing. I think in the comments you got persecuted a little bit by Moses. Go ahead.
You remember though, I know you just picked Moses, but remember I'm the most likable guest here that I did on the comment.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah, so Franklin said I was struggling, but the viewers do not believe that. They don't go with what he said. Look, let's just this friend, okay? Arizona Cummings is a good man. I believe so. I believe Arizona Cummings really wants to get what he believes he must get, which is the presidency. And I don't see him as an equal person. I just know that one, he cannot handle Liberia, not because he's incompetent. He cannot handle Liberia for the simple fact that, look, let's just be honest. And whenever I say this, I know Moses, or Lofa Jesus, or all the Arizona Cummings people get mad. Arizona Cummings does not know Liberia. Arizona Cummings does not know Liberia. The people of Maryland County are rejected to accept Arizona Cummings. The county he claimed, the people said, we don't accept you. Why should I accept him? I will come from Lofa and Matiki County. Why should I accept the man? This is a man who none of his, even the people that I read within his office, the Isaac Vatopa, the Yato, none of these guys are capable of eloquently defending or explaining who Alexander Cummings really is as a person. As a matter of fact, Arizona Coming has to come out and help them to explain himself. The only thing we get from these guys is Arizona Coming.
And you are capable to explain who Baka is?
But I know Baka.
Are you capable of explaining who Baka is?
I have exhibited that.
All right.
And the others agree with me.
Okay.
I have exhibited that, and the others agree with me.
All right.
I live and eat some of the proceeds of what Baka put in place. I saw cocoa water, I ate rice, the real local country rice.
This is about who benefits.
The one the people call Gizi.
This is what benefits Aliyu, right?
No, but I'm talking about the country.
Okay, thank you.
Local country became the breadbasket of Liberia under who?
Thank you.
Buckeye. No. The Agricultural Development Bank was established by whose ingenuity? Joseph Buckeye. The Green Revolution encouraging the entire 43,000 square miles to get involved in agriculture.
Thank you.
Administration. Joseph Buckeye. What are you talking about?
Thank you, Aliyu. Let's come to Franklin.
No
Franklin, the comment.
I knew after the comments, Aliyu would take solace in the fact that more people sided with him to mean that he made the most sense or he sold his candidate better. First of all, I am not in this number competition. I've always said I'm not a person who believes in numbers, because when you're having a show like this, you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that United Partisans are in a majority compared to ANC. And it depends on who
Aliyu, stop that. You were speaking, your friend was paying attention. Stop that.
Exactly. It depends on who finds space or her way to comment or to be up or to call. So I'm not carried away by how many people. I mean, the truth of the matter is, Aliyu, in your little solitude, you will realize that you are not doing much enough to sell Boyka. You can't measure about food basket, agriculture. You see, you shooting yourself in the leg again. You notice that on 2 occasions, your man in those capacities was dismissed from LPMC and then from the agriculture ministry you're talking about. Let us not go there, because if somebody is doing well, I don't understand why you'll be dismissed. Dismissal is never associated with success. So let's just leave that. What I want to say to you, my brother, is that moving forward, we are going to rally the numbers for Alexander Cummings. Those numbers that you are relying on are not constant. I hear you talking about the man is from Maryland. The man, he could not even win Maryland. Oh, but the man is from Maryland and was attempting the presidency for the first time, in 2017. And the fact that he did not win Maryland does not also mean that he will not win Maryland in 2023. First of all, when he did not win Maryland, he lost Maryland to what? To CDC. It was not a United Party after CDC in Maryland. It was Alexander Cummings ANC after CDC. But I'm not this person who believes in this stronghold. This, look, politics is dynamic, my brother. Political words are not carved in stone. Okay. Nobody thought, and I know Aliyu were made to this that $8 the loan. I would say $8 the loan, because at the time that how you refer to him as $8 the loan, my very good friend, would have won Monserrato from the hands of CDC in 2019. Nobody thought. At that time, you did not have the collaboration backing him. I'm only trying to tell you how conscious our people are becoming by the day. The proliferation of this intellectual fora, plus what you are doing here, Anthony, these talk shows and platforms are conscientizing our people on a daily basis.
I believe
people are beginning to understand the issues, and it's going to have a toll on the numbers that you are counting on. Stop hanging on these numbers, because the numbers do not determine good leadership. I am saying, what is it that your candidate can do differently that can place this country on the right trajectory? And then let us look at his legacy, whether we can fit it into what you are saying. It's not about beautifying and window dressing. They talk, your candidate has not convinced me that he can provide a better alternative. The only thing you can hang on now is that you've got the numbers.
Thank you, Franklin. Thank you, Franklin. Gentlemen, because of time, we usually don't go above 2 hours here, and we are just 8 minutes away. I think we had a very good conversation here. It's good to have the both of you contact. I think if need be, we're going to do this again. Aliyu is an excellent discussant. Franklin too is, by way, Franklin is impeccable. He says the truth, even if it's on his side, except for Aliyu, who will give excuses thinking that it's political, So, Mr. Kamara, we have to go, my good friend. Thanks so much for coming. Even though you couldn't come on video. No, I'll give you the time to close. No, I'm not shutting you down. I'll give you time to close, Aliu. No, I can't do that. I'll give you time to close. So let's get your parting comment. Please make it as brief as possible, less than 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Few contradiction here. He said it's not a rocket science to know that Joseph Boakai has the number, but then again he says the number doesn't mean anything. He doesn't pay attention to the numbers. Another thing he said that was dishonest, and I must clarify, he said that Joseph Boakai was fired at LPMC. Joseph Boakai was never fired at LPMC. Yes, there were political issues. There was a military junta when he was given the job as agriculture minister. And the very military junta took him out and immediately brought him back. So if he was as bad as he's claiming, the junta would not have brought Joseph Boakai back. Look, Liberia and Liberians, we're talking about tangible. We're not talking about imagination. We do not buy pig in bags as Liberians. We know Joseph Boakai. He has been tested and proven. A guy from Coca-Cola who has never handled a single autonomous agency in Liberia, you cannot declare such a man to be non-corrupt because he has not worked in any corrupt environment. He has not been tested. This is a man who has no corruption record, but just to be a member of the CPP, you see the amount of hullabaloo and the amount of confusion he is causing. He has totally put the Liberty Party in turmoil. He has made the CPP has denigrated, has digressed to a very disorienting level. And so you need to open your eyes and pay attention. Look at this man. If this man is not a corrupt man, has never been corrupt before. The man is in a collaboration and he cannot even hold nor control himself. Look at this man's associates. If this man is really not corrupt, let's take the most ability, my own big brother, who is this man protege, his confidant at this point, a man who is in all kinds of court proceedings with FIFA, with the government of Liberia, and these are the people that the non-corrupt man hangs with. This is a man that buys motorcycles for other politicians, for other delegates, so that they can leave their parties and go and join him. And this man is so honest. Why is he buying people? Why is he paying for everything? Open your eyes. Joseph Boakai is the way. Check his integrity. It's impeccable. His record is there, except for the one that few people brought war and destroyed. Joseph Boakai's name remains standing, and that's why Ellen Johnson chose him in the first place.
Thank you, Aliu.
Thank you.
Aliu Kamara there, a supporter of Joseph Boakai, defending, and at the same time making the case for JNB. Aliu, thank you. But man, maybe you need to be my co-host, but the way you partisan now, we don't let partisan people to be co-hosts. But that would not be bad though. You know, we need to get all sides. Thank you, Aliu, for coming. Next time, come on video. Let's see your face because you're hiding that face. Franklin?
Let me defend my brother in that regard. Aliu is not a partisan. He said he only supports Boakai. So you can still make him a co-host, okay? First of all, Aliu, there was never a contradiction. I think you know too well than to be told what a contradiction is. I said, I don't believe in the number politics. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that Joseph Boakai, he's from the Unity Party, and you can boast of numbers. So there's no contradiction. What I want you to understand is that, I don't like to really attack an opponent because in my mind, political opponents are not enemies. If the CPP holds and Boakai bears the standard of the CPP other than Cummings, in as much as it follows the democratic tenets, I will support Boakai. But if we have a situation where Boakai will have to go solo, Cummings goes solo, I will prefer Cummings 10 out of 10 times to Boakai. And the reason is just simple. You look at what he's saying. You say he has not held an autonomous agency or whatever in an era of corruption. My brother, leadership is leadership. It does not matter whether you are providing it in the corporate world or in public service. A monkey never leaves its black palm. If Cummings had been corrupt, and if you really want to find efficiency and effectiveness and integrity is in the corporate sector. Because there, the whole intent is to maximize profit. And everything you do must be results-oriented. And you must Engage your service with integrity. That is how you keep climbing the ladder. So to want to say because he came from the corporate world, Kamiso, look, there are tangibles when we talk about people who have impacted the lives of Liberians in that country. Alexander Cummings has impacted the lives of Liberians ever since he retired from his corporate responsibilities. The Cummings Foundation is on the ground and there are tangibles. You don't have to be in government to impact the lives of your people. Everything that you can say about VP Bwaka was when he was in public service and whatever. Again, I will not call him corrupt, but I will also hold him responsible for endorsing corruption. Because how come he could be the president of the Liberian Senate, and that Senate signed 66 out of 68 concessions, and they were bogus? You want to extricate him from that, and you're saying that he was not presiding, he did not have to vote. A vice president at the level of the Senate is influential, and he projects the interests of the government. We hold him accountable for the pitfalls of the Unity Party. We're not only associating with the gains. I disagree when he says that he was a packed car. I agree with him that they squandered their opportunities, and I can understand him wanting a second chance. Is it actually deserved? No, the guy is saying, they say every good term deserves another. Did this man do well to deserve another chance? I would say no. We're not going to even reduce our country to a two-party state. Let me end on this note. It is not going to be take the baton from CDC and then to Unity Party, and then from Unity Party to CDC, and then from CDC, and then we say we have pluralism. This is a democracy, and we must nourish it. I heard that Councillor Temwa Gonglo will be declaring on December 4th. Even those who will go for Temwa Gonglo, I wish them well. This time around, we want a leadership that will place our country on the trajectory of positivity. For too long, have we been languishing in backwardness, even though we claim to be the leaders of the world. We got all the resources. We got bad stars.
Thank you.
People been staying the affairs of the state with greater intent, and they have not done us well. That is why we are lacking behind. This time around, we want a transformer, a reformist, a person who will do things with impeccability.
Thank you.
With efficiency, with professionalism, and with trustworthiness. And that person is Alexander Benedict Cummings. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. Franklin K. Weiser is a supporter of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings. Earlier was Mr. Aliu Kamara, who made his own closing statement. My name is Anthony Sie, as always, the host of the Hour of Politics. If you want responsible political conversation, let me be your guy. I don't know it. I'm learning it. But I'm learning it with everything in me. And that is why you will get to know me to be your guy when it comes to the business. I will blow my horn when I get there, but I'm not dead yet. I want you to criticize me. I want you to criticize me. I know in this business, people don't know. Yeah, so I understand that. So, folks, that is how we will come to the end of this broadcast. We do not do until we play you that nationalistic song that says, "We are all Liberians." Until I catch you again, my name is Anthony Sie, and I'm saying to you, bye-bye. Enjoy the song and be well.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.